And now, it is time to bring back.
You ever get that taste in your mouth and you just can't
second
figure
week in
out
a
why
row.
it's gross? You're just like, what do I
It's
do?
the craze that is sweeping the nation.
Why?
It's what everyone's talking about. It is time
Does everything
to bring
taste
back
like butt?
week 2 of free money!
For your bookie.
Free money!
For your bookie.
My college football picks against the spread. Let me just pull up this document.
Here
Let
we
me
go.
see how we did last week.
That's
There were
fine.
11 games
Blind
last
squirrels,
week,
nuts, etc.
and it appears that I went
Please
10
would like you
0 and 1.
5, 17,
10,
33,
0 and
44,
1.
5, 6.
Undefeated. 10 0 and 1
No one cares.
on my picks last week. That is right.
You're just
That is
setting people
right.
up. You're setting people up. They're going to start listening to you now, and they're going to lose money the next 14 weeks.
That's the scam. Because I'm the bookie. Yes, a terrific start to free money. And I have to tell you, I put that in the Slack chat, and Max's response was like basically the GIF version of like
It was
the 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, it was a Jurgen Klopp staring into the void.
Staring into the abyss.
Yeah.
That is a tears and rain moment for Max Thompson. Everything will fade away like tears and rain.
Everything hurt.
10 0 and 1 in week 1. And here's the great news. There's only 8 games this week, so I will definitely be above 500 after 2 weeks.
No one.
Where are we
one
starting,
cares.
Max?
I hope you go 0 and 8. I hope you're sweating after no time.
Mhm.
Where are we starting? Where are we ending? Let's end it now. This is the first time I'm looking at these, so hang on with me here for a second.
Okay.
Wake Forest taking on the Owls
Hoot,
of
hoot.
Rice. Hoot hoot. 7 p.m. Friday. Wake Forest, a 19-point favorite.
So Wake Forest played Utah State in the opener and came away with a good win. Utah State obviously is a program that we don't really know what to think of. They have a new coach after Matt Wells left to go somewhere. I can't really remember at this moment. But overall,
They're doomed.
Overall,
Wherever it is.
the one thing I will say is that the offense looked pretty good. They were able to they were really able to run the ball, if I remember correctly, or pass the ball rather. They were throwing the ball extremely well. Jamie Newman, their quarterback, went for 401 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is something obviously is a new test for Rice because Rice played Army in the opener. Now they looked great. They looked really really good in the opener. Defensively,
But what if Army's bad?
what if Army's bad? But the troops are never bad. We support the troops.
That's
we
why
give,
Brent-
we give
that's
them
why
bonus
Brent-
points
yeah.
in the pick 'em.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
But to me, this is a new challenge for Rice, and so I am still pretty tepid as far as taking Rice in games like this because they proved it against a team like Army, but Army's such a unique opponent that now they're playing a more traditional opponent. I think I lean towards Wake here. I'm going to take Wake minus 19. Although being at home will help, and I want to see what they do against a team that's able to throw the ball because Army, I mean. Kelvin Hopkins can throw, but, I mean, let's be real, that's not a throwing team. So this is a throwing team. What happens when they do that? The more concerning thing is the offense was really, really bad last week. They've got to get going. Now, Wake Forest's defense is not very good, but I still think Wake is able to cover that. I think they win by about 3 touchdowns. I'm going to take Wake Forest minus 19. What's next, Max?
I don't know if you've heard anything about this game. I think it might be good. I don't know. Number 12, Texas A&M, going to Death Valley. Taking on number 1 Clemson. 2:30 p.m. Saturday. Clemson 17.5-point favorites. The Aggies gasp. What? We're amazing. How could it be 17.5, Tepper?
Well, Clemson's super good.
Well,
Clemson's super good, and they're at home.
is there any way you can bet on the Hurricane making sure this game never happens?
Yeah, I'm taking Dorian minus 3. No, this game's really intriguing to me for a number of reasons. One, because A&M is talking their mess.
Ooh, boy.
They are talking. They've had a couple people guarantee wins. I don't think, I want to be clear, I'm not picking A&M to win this game. I don't think so. Going on the road, one thing that's concerning for me for A&M is that Kellen Mond was pressured pretty significantly by Texas State last week, and that was at home against a, let's say, middle-of-the-road Sun Belt team. You are now going on the road to play the number 1 team in the country with maybe one of the best front sevens in the country.
Yeah.
That's going to be very difficult.
They certainly did not look bad last week.
No. The defense looked okay, but Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne are certainly going to test them. That said, give me the points.
Why wouldn't you take them to cover that?
I'm going to take A&M. I think they.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think they lose. I think A&M loses.
Yeah.
I think they. I don't really know if it's ever going to be all that close. And I don't think I'm ever going to feel like A&M's going to win that game. This is me talking.
Yeah.
But I think this is a 10 to 14 point game.
Yeah.
That's what I think. This feels like 10 to 14. 17 and a half seems like overcooking it. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with A&M minus or plus 17 and a half. I think that they are able to cover that. What's next, Max?
Oh, a game that's so much more exciting than it would have been.
Yes.
UTSA going up to Waco to take on Baylor. 3 p.m. Saturday. Baylor 26-point favorites, and that's fine. Don't blame Vegas for putting the line there. But UTSA suddenly looks like they might be able to play football.
That is kind of where I'm at on this.
Yeah,
and that's
a little bit of offense.
I'm going to take UTSA in the points. I'll spoil it from the beginning. I think that this is a reputation play where it's a Big 12 team at home taking on UTSA, who was really bad last year and wasn't able to move the ball. Well, here's a UTSA offense that suddenly has a pulse, and I think is going to be able to put up 21 points.
Right.
Let's not go crazy. I don't think they're going to go nuts.
Baylor's going to win this game easily.
Baylor's going to win this game. Baylor's going to win this game comfortably.
Yeah.
But I think UTSA is able to keep this within 21.
Yeah, maybe.
I think so. 3 touctouchdowns.
24.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Give me something like Baylor 55 and UTSA 31 or something.
Yeah.
Some garbage time points or something like that.
Yeah.
I think UTSA is going to score, and that's kind of the biggest thing here. UTSA is going to get some points, I think. And as a result, that's why I'm going to take UTSA plus 26. I think you give me 26 points. Yeah, let's roll the dice. I think they're able to cover that.
All right.
What's next, Max?
Wyoming.
Who?
Conquerors of your Missouri Tigers rolling into San Marcos to take on Texas State. 6 p.m. Saturday. The Cowboys, 7-point favorites. 7-point favorites over Texas State. Just whooped up on a great SEC team.
Yeah, a really good SEC team. A sleeper, guys. A moment for Missouri.
Here we go.
A moment for
Here
Missouri.
we go.
Oh, y'all fell for it. Guys, I went to Missouri. I am intimately familiar with Missouri, okay? And everyone's like, oh, man, I really think with Kelly Bryant, they're going to be able to make some noise. No! They're still Missouri, okay? I don't know, like, all y'all that are, like, hopping on this bandwagon, they go to Laramie. First of all, you don't just walk into Laramie and come away with a win. But that was exactly what I thought. Now, I think there's a fair argument, and you look at, like, Bill Connolly at ESPN's, his SP Plus stuff now. Basically, Mizzou didn't move because they kind of outplayed Wyoming, but they didn't come up with the plays when it mattered. Point is, forget all that. Wyoming's pretty good, and they're pretty good at running the ball, and that is going to be something that I think is a concern here for Texas State. They're going to need to load up and stop the run. They had 2 guys go for over 100 yards last week, including their freshman quarterback Sean Chambers. This is going to be a really interesting test for Texas State coming home, though. Taking on a Wyoming team that is kind of one-dimensional at the time. They can't really throw the ball. But the other thing about Wyoming is that they force turnovers. They force turnovers. They're a playmaking defense. And so for an offense in Texas State that is still trying to find their way, they have got to hang on to the ball. I like Wyoming in this one. I'm going to lay the 7 points. I like Wyoming minus 7 to cover that. I think it's probably like a 9 or 10 point game.
There you go.
That's what I'm going with. But go Bobs. I hope they win. I hope I'm wrong about that. You hope I'm wrong about all of them. What's next, Max?
By the way, Phil Vaney says we need Iowa State to play Mizzou for the sake of all the TFTers.
Jeez. No.
Nah. It wasn't good back when it happened. I'll tell you that right now. Next game.
The telephone trophy, right?
Yeah, so stupid.
I only learned about this. Is true.
Yeah.
I only learned about that from NCAA football.
Yeah.
I never knew about that.
You never know. Yeah.
Iowa State was not a rival of Missouri's, and Missouri was not a rival of Iowa State.
Maybe like a little bit in basketball.
Yeah.
Maybe like Johnny Orr and Norm Stewart.
Yes.
We got to go way back.
Yeah,
y'all.
that's when they were really, both teams were really cooking.
Yeah.
And
when me and Tepper were little tykes.
Yeah, like this basically like. When they were in the Big 8 together, then it was like, yeah, okay, they can.
Sure.
They're
Whatever.
that's a rivalry, but no.
Anyway,
what's next?
DFW special, baby. North Texas at SMU, 6 p.m. Saturday. The Ponies, 3-point favorites.
Can I be weird?
Go for it.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get that line at
A
all.
little surprised.
North Texas catching point. Basically, they're saying it's a pick 'em on a neutral site.
Yeah.
And they're giving 3 points for the Ponies at home. Look, obviously SMU rallied and looked pretty good last week.
Yeah.
In their opener.
Yeah. Better
On the
start
road
than last year, for
on
sure.
the road at
Yeah.
Arkansas State. I think it's fair to say that a change of scenery has done some good for Shane Buechele. At least the early results are. But here's the problem, guys. Okay, Arkansas State is not as good. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Arkansas State is not as good of an offense as North Texas. Okay,
Wow. That's risky.
is that careful?
Why?
Yeah.
Boy.
And Arkansas State was able to throw for 324 yards last week.
That's a lot.
On the 30 of 52, albeit, but they did in 4 touchdowns. That is, to me, the big thing here. I think this game could be really pointsy. I think this game could be like, I don't know what the over under is, but I would be leaning towards the over, whatever it is, unless it's like in the 80s. I would lean towards the over here, and then I'm going to take North Texas in the points. I think that this is something I feel really good about. I feel pretty good about that. Now SMU, because to me the defense for SMU has got to step up and show me something. Going up against, by far, in my opinion, the best offense they've seen this year. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest thing to me. I'm going to take North Texas +3, and maybe SMU wins a squeaker, but I think that I like the Mean Green to go on the road and get a win. Although the one thing that's interesting. North Texas, this is from our star researcher, Ashley Pickle. North Texas has not won at Ford Stadium since like the 30s. Or at least, I'm sorry, in Dallas since the 30s. It was at whatever the stadium before that was. So it would be breaking a streak, but I still like North Texas. I'm going to take the Mean Green +3.
Your danger zone here is if North Texas jumps out to a 21-0 lead and they're like, we're going to win, and then they're going to lose, because that's what happens when they get out to leads like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, I like North Texas with their offense. That's it. What's next, Max?
This one seems like it might be a big deal. Number 6, LSU, going to the 40 acres to take on number 9, Texas. 6:30 p.m. Saturday. LSU currently a 6.5-point favorite, which I got to say seems about right.
LSU whooped up on Georgia Southern last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they looked really good doing it. Joe Burrow, their quarterback, is really good, which is weird to talk about a LSU quarterback that's really good. They've got a couple of really good receivers, most notably, Terrence Marshall, Justin Jefferson, guys like that. And then look, the defense is the defense. The defense is what they are. They're really, really solid, especially in the secondary. I have questions about Texas's running back depth. Obviously, they are. If you didn't hear, Jordan Whittington is out for at least, they say 4 to 6 weeks, but the way they were describing that injury, that does not seem like a 4 to 6 week injury. That seems like he tore something in his groin. So he's out. Their starting running back is Keontae Ingram. Their backup running back presently is Rashawn Johnson, the former Port Neches Groves quarterback, who is a freshman.
Okay.
But really and truly, let's be honest, who their starting running back is. Their starting running back is Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah.
The defense for Texas did not look amazing last week, and especially not against the pass. Now, I do think that Jamar Smith, the quarterback for Louisiana Tech, is pretty underrated, but he was still able to throw for 340 yards last week. That is going to need to change. They're going to need to come up with some big plays. That secondary is going to need to look down. If you want to pick Texas in this one, your reasoning is basically, I think the secondary is better than they showed last week. They pick off Joe Burrow a couple times. They are able to, Sam Ehlinger is able to grind out long drives against LSU, and most importantly, Tom Herman as an underdog. Right? And that's kind of the meme out there. Yep. Is Tom Herman simply doesn't lose as an underdog.
Right.
That said, I think
there's a first for everything.
Yeah. The other thing, I don't know. This is weird.
Know.
I think the safe pick is LSU.
I think it is too.
I think that there is there's a great reason to pick Texas. And if you want to pick Texas, I do not begrudge you, and it would not surprise me if they won this game. But I'm going to go with the safe pick. I think the safe pick is LSU -6.5, win by about 7, something like 28-21.
Something like that.
But I think this is a really good line. 6.5 is a really good line. Makes me think. But I'm going to go with LSU minus 6.5.
I wish we didn't feel that way.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like this is. Yeah, I think that's the way it is.
Yeah.
By the way, all road teams so far. How about that?
This will only end well for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this one isn't very hard. This is Prairie View going to Houston, 7 p.m. Saturday, no line.
Yeah.
Houston's gonna roll.
Houston's going to win.
Yep.
I want to see the biggest thing that I want to see from them is what they're able to do defensively. Because here's the thing. Prairie View is a pretty solid offense.
Yeah.
Last week, Jalen Morton and DeWanya Tucker, formerly of Atlanta, is that right?
Maybe.
Is that right? Terrell? Somewhere East Texas.
Terrell is right.
Somewhere East Texas.
Terrell.
They showed out. They were really, really good against Texas Southern in the Labor Day Classic. The offense can hum for Prairie View A&M. This is going to be now. Houston can name their score offensively. I really think they're going to be able to do that, and they're going to win this game comfortably. Yeah. If you're projecting forward as far as what is Houston going to be once the American Athletic Conference play starts, I want to see what the defense does. I want to see the defense take this personally and go out there and shut down Prairie View.
Right.
Because Prairie View is able to put up 350, 400 yards. That is a red flag.
Yeah, that's bad.
So Houston wins. This is the easiest one to call in my opinion. But just keep an eye on this one simply because of like what this game looks like. Because if this game is 55-3, everything's cool. Don't worry about the Cougs. If this game is something like 55-28. It just gets kind of gross. Yeah. So, that's where I'm thinking. I like Houston, though.
You say that game's easy to call. Easier to call than this one? UTEP going to the South Plains to take on Texas Tech. 7 p.m. Saturday. Tech 34-point favorites. And after the way UTEP looked last week, that might be generous.
The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause in this one is 34.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. You asking them to win by 5 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Now, look, UTEP looked BAD bad defensively last week. They gave up 443 yards total offense to Houston Baptist, who Houston Baptist is a fledgling. Fledgling means young. It doesn't mean bad.
Yeah.
A fledgling FCS program, a team that is still getting its feet underneath them. Now, we love Bailey Zappi there, former Victoria West quarterback.
Oh, boy. You better hope you're right on that.
Oh, God. Hold on.
I think you're right.
I think I am, too.
I think you're right.
Bailey Zappi went to... Oh, God, come on. Victoria East.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Victoria
We're
East.
in so much trouble.
Former Victoria East quarterback,
God.
Bailey Zappi. We're big fans of him, obviously.
You're fired.
So the Houston Baptist offense is not lunch meat, but that is still a game that at home they should not have given up that type of yardage. Now going on the road to play Texas Tech. Now the offense looked decent for UTEP last week, but again, that was against Houston Baptist. I'm taking Tech. I think they're able to really name their score. The only question is going to be like if they take their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter or something like that, and UTEP's able to make this thing close. I think Tech wins. I think Tech wins big. The only question is whether or not they win this big. I'm going to take Tech at home. I think they cover this. I think something like SP Plus liked Tech by like 44. They also have UTEP ranked the worst team in the country right now. I don't think they're the worst team in the country, but I do think.
Does it matter if they're like the third worst team in the country, though, Greg?
That's the thing. I'm going to take Tech minus 34 to close out free money. So those are your free money picks for week 2 of college football. I like Wake Forest minus 19 at Rice. I like A&M plus 17.5 at Clemson. Go win that dang game. UTSA at Baylor. I like UTSA plus 26 at Baylor. I like Wyoming minus 7 at Texas State. I like North Texas plus 3 at SMU. I like LSU minus 6.5 at Texas. Go win that game, Longhorns. I like Houston over Prairie View, and I like Texas Tech minus 34 at home against UTEP.